you had 3 women on your podcast, and one was just being super belligerent to you, awful. Honestly, she was. I would say it to her face. I'd be like, ma'am, while I respect you as a fellow image bearer of God, how you treated Alex in his house was disrespectful and just uncalled for. I'm sorry. It's just belligerent. Imagine having that person, which I'm not blaming you, but it's a consequence of pickup artistry. Women like that are being bonded with a man who's going to have to, interact with that person, right? Because this whole sphere created that person.
Well, I would fundamentally disagree with that, Pedro. I don't think pickup artistry created that girl. I think that chick is just a fucking cunt who was created by her own internal demons and trauma and feminism and sugar daddies and guys who are willing to pay her massive amounts of money just to fucking wash her feet, which are all things that go against pickup values. So I wouldn't say I have zero role in creating her. Now, in terms of actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to address this. Because I've had a lot of people DMing me saying like, yo, Alex, why didn't you fucking Frank Castle her? Yo, like you were too nice to her. Okay, first of all, before that podcast started, this chick was fucking bawling out, crying on my couch, telling me how she was suicidal up until recently, which is why she did no podcast appearances. That gave her a little bit of leeway with me because while I think she's a major fucking cunt, I don't want her blood on my hands. Like, I don't want this chick to kill herself. So like that is the context that is important to consider. Like, and we didn't have that on tape, out of respect, but it was there, and she was fucking bawling out, crying, weeping, and like what that suggests to me is that this chick is like really fucking emotionally unstable. And the analogy I would give is this: like,
let's do a podcast.
I'm gonna be at my family. Well, at that point, I was already committed to the podcast. But by the way, if I knew that stuff beforehand, I probably would not have invited her on. But anyway, so the analogy I would give is this: I'm gonna be at my family reunion in 2 weeks, and I have a lot of little nieces and nephews, and my 5-year-old nephew is like, Alex, you're a poofy face, and you smell funny, and you're losing hair. Now, there's 2 ways I can react to that. I can treat him like an equal and take it seriously and be like, yo, fuck you. Don't talk shit to me. Don't disrespect me like that. Or I can just laugh it off, pat him on the head and say, good for you. Right. And I did like the
You did the latter. You did the latter.
I did the latter. Yeah. I don't think of her as my equal. I think of her as an extremely emotionally unstable human being who's all over the fucking place. And I don't feel the need to fucking try to prove a point to her. Because 1, I'm not going to be able to anyway because she's too far gone. 2, if I do escalate the situation, which I can easily do, but if I do that, she's going to get butthurt and storm off, and she's going to take her friends, right, who weren't really on her side near the end, and then the show is over and the fun is over. So what I would rather do is just laugh off her nonsense. It doesn't personally affect me at all because, again, she's not my equal. It's like when I'm walking down the street and I see a homeless guy who's screaming at me saying, you fucking Jews, you're the problem. I'm not going to engage with that guy and have like a debate with him. I just laugh at him because he's not even on my level. It's the same exact thing. Like, I'm not saying at intrinsic value as a human being. I'm just saying like emotionally, like she's extremely unstable. She's not on my value as a I don't know, person who contributes to society or something like that. So like her claim to fame is banging a bunch of old dudes, like literally, like. So it's like it doesn't even register in my mind as an offense. If John says like makes a claim against me, that would be totally different because I do think of him on my level. So then I'm going to respond very differently and probably it's going to be more aggressively because did he just drop off?
Yeah, because you said you're going to do bad things to him, dude. You said you were going to respond aggressively, all this, that, and the third.
Well, it was a positive point.
I'm kidding. Oh. But I hope you know, Alex, that I agree with the stance you're taking, which is just the high ground. I would summarize it in this. The house is already on fire. Throwing 40,000 propane tanks into the house on fire is not going to solve anything. So let's not do that. Let's add maturity and some level of decorum to the situation, which is the water.
Yeah, I mean, like, again,
that's my worldview. But in your worldview, get this. I was watching your chat when that whole thing was going on. They were calling for her head to be put on a freaking spike, dude.
Yeah, I know. They want to see blood. And like,
Yeah.
I guess I get that, but then like keep in mind, okay, I say, yo, by the way, girl, you're fucking crazy. You're like a 6 at best physically, and you're like a 2 in terms of personality. I get hotter girls than you all day, every day. I might fuck you if I was drunk, but I would never hit you up for round 2. I say that, right? Which was in the back of my mind. What happens? She throws her drink in my face, which I don't care about, and she storms off, and she takes her girlfriends. Podcast is over. So we get 20, 30 seconds of fun, but then the whole thing is over. It's not like there's other girls on the panel. Like, is that really worth it? Furthermore,
not at all. Not at all.
Furthermore, again, maybe the odds are small, but she potentially kills herself. Like, do I really want that blood on my hand?
You're correct.
Prove to my audience that I fucking wrecked that chick. Like, by the way, I want to clarify this. I'm totally different when I'm on a date with a girl than when I'm on a podcast. I've privately kicked girls out of my house countless times. I can be really, really ruthless when I think the person deserves it. I can totally do it. But the reason I don't like doing it publicly is for 2 reasons. One, I think it sets a bad example for the male audience. When I invite a girl on a date with me, I'm seeing if I want to invest my time in her, right? She has to be up to my physical standards, but she also has to be up to my emotional and personality standards. And on a date, if I hear like the girl being disrespectful or checking her phone a lot, I'll call it out. And if she doesn't want to address that, I'll be like, you know what? Like, I'm not feeling this. Let's call it a night. And if she gives me any shit, like, I'll be fucking ruthless. Like, I've destroyed girls and made them cry. But it's not something that like I think is a good example, not something I want to encourage for the audience, because I don't think it's good game the majority of the time. It's just, I guess, me not wasting my time. And furthermore, I do think it's a little different when I invited her to be on my show, right, where she doesn't have to meet those criteria. I don't have to find her